went at different points in time, early in our college career, our college journey, and wanted to bring back all the things that we our community. So really planned the trip in mind with our mothers, really wanted to take them out of their day, what we were able to experience. And that's not to say that, you know, reflection and self-actualization that I would say neither one of us were really able to get take our mom. We got siblings. Hey, students, adults, and elders going. The youngest person is 13. The oldest person is 65 years old. So we got to.
Trying to be like you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So we're going to start launching in the first of the year. This is like a test, and it's across generations. How'd you come up?
Access and knowledge, the pass down of knowledge, the pass emotions about how generations know Black people in the community that are doing and supporting the older people that young people need to know. But it's really about passing the torch of, you know, jokes, laughs, and, you know, good.
But I know there's a lot of elders that keeps them in a place of through all of their baggage and begin the process of healing. So we here to also be the fruits of their labor.
So with that being said, what are some of the things you think we miss across generations?
Unconditional love for Black people. Through the Black people that I was like meeting. But I definitely feel embrace your sisters and brothers as your sisters and brothers as young. So
And practices that West came from the South, they came from the East Coast, and they traveled, and so that we really, really need to get us through, especially here in this place in California, where we're really.
Being said, let's look at that first one.
okay.
This
You could leave your home. The mom that I could say my mom was allowing me to go spend the night. My mother didn't trust any of our Black neighbors. And we try to make community and fix those.
Generation where, you know, they were everybody's children. To play in their upbringing and their well-being. Mom didn't trust none of my friends. Though, you know, we all was from the same neighborhood, same one another. Also, my family, when it came down to business, when it came down because that's who we're around.
Right.
So
always owned the corner store, and it was clean or whatever. I mean, you know, whatever the truth was about going in there, because we knew that they had the store.
Right. That lack of patience for Black people.
Yeah. I'm really big on, so I think you have to give just a little just like that. And I get the thing about and I didn't know where either. Except it was a relative, like somebody that she really, really knew. Like,
So for my family and for what I've seen, even going to the same school for more than a year, that is just a continuation of our level when those of us do not have the basis of stability because and be independent afford to keep your home, let alone stay in the community, is to be disconnected from your people. Yeah.
I think it's also being in an extreme state of desperation. Always, and I don't like to play the victim role, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like, okay, black people don't have the ability to. It is because, like, those disparities are caused and, you know, are more dollars to go spend with black people. You can't see that sacrifice or the importance system by keeping us desperate and keeping us kind of dependent on the system. We haven't. That's completely independent of everything that I know. Of course, that'll take, you know, taking risks, and that can be uncomfortable at times. We experience is someone's experiment, right. And you know, we have been put into this incubator, but with hella trauma and hella things that we're. Oh, most definitely.
Absolutely. Most of my understanding comes from study. '50s, '60s, '70s, '80s, '90s, or slavery, and understand that part of history, but definitely
about you, Clara?
Most definitely. I was the youngest of her 10 siblings. I think I was always kind of exposed to some of those older isms, those that I love. Even my grandmother, she was born in Texarkana, Texas, and she just
right on every time. I only asked that question as a lesson. So there's some black people in this country who live very well, and we can just all get together. It's like saying, everybody just loan me some money. Like it's a communities, even right after the Civil War, where they said that was the most dangerous time for that time than any time in history, including right now.
Wow.
So with that being said, how dangerous it was, we still have more. I only asked about the historical piece because I've always been same page, like how the two of you found each other. Because when you have a mission, you want to get things accomplished. I don't have time to change your. And it is going to change. Like I'm not going to be out running around knocking on doors and I'm 60.
Having the ability to be one in same time, that does not relieve me of my like communal responsibilities. Right. So when I get to the point where, you know, we're addressing some of these sick rapists and these, and then you'll figure out when it's time to come back to the community. But I think the accountability.
I still think people don't do that. That's why when something happens to them, right. But
that we need within our community.
I
don't think that the time, but I love asking older folks this question, like, what was your favorite? Consistently, when I lived, my father and my mother are in their 50s. He also mentions the 70s, and so there's something that went on that I think too is today. day.
Music, there's something about 70s music when you dance. It's a certain rhythm that people just start to do. What do you think specifically happened that broke that trust, which added on to the other layers? Like that, those layers was kind of like common stuff, but there was
Off tops, I think it's the crack epidemic. Say that it's just a crack epidemic, like oh, it's only crack that came in because some and talking to folks and getting different information internally. I'm sure there's some crack specifically.
Brutal deconstruction. I believe it was paired with the crack epidemic. I believe they were assassinated. The drugs came in. I think another against all of these systems that we not.
right. Black people.
Right.
Let's just be honest. See, we to rely on each other.
Right.
See, it's different when I got an option. That's why in Cuba, that's why they couldn't break Cuba. Because you really can't separate yourself in Cuba. Mm-hmm. Integration we brought into other people ability like schools who felt so disconnected from black people and behind
and how this going back to the system
right now.
And recognizing the forces at play and recognizing so I think as our and for some people that's progress. What we want our image, what we want our positions to be while we're here. Trauma and continuous systematic intentional oppression at the
and some of the healing or even understanding relationships with each other, but we may not be the best of friends. How we have
from that list of things that we need. So at the end of the day, black people are the most vulnerable in every system we need. When we can come to terms that we are just going to do all that we got to do, grind as hard as we can every single day to get betrayal, distrust again comes up, and it prevents a lot of those actions from taking course. Is actively denying, a lot. So there has to be like 2 or 3, places. Than just like the welfare office and all of the government assistance, there has to be an act. Have a weekly meeting of community, but like, how do we begin to be there? Actually have a part in it really once you understand, like, I'm a child of the birthplace of all. Out one by one, and it comes and it looks different ways, but I think it's, you have to activate. Doing over there that I can help with, or how can I support you? But it takes us.
So you got a couple of comments. Sister Smith said, "And view black women now." I seen it coming through people like all that was in the hip hop. I hate to have to in my era, and I also seen it on television. She doing it with the Dark Sister. Right. To turn it off, right. And be like, I'm the black man, so they can't get none of my goddamn money. But I also learned a lot for you, which means they do stuff like, I'm not gonna buy your stuff, I'm not gonna let you now, and so black people don't do that. But black people are just as human as everybody else. What's this? The how much word up? The vast. And then she said, teach these, talking about you was talking at the time. So that's one way of looking at it. There's the things you can do immediately to each other by head nod. That's why we do head to say, I see you.
Or big picture sense. Spiritually grounded in our belief of God. What we are in today is also, I think, building a vast understanding. Much we are dependent upon systems that really don't serve us in so many ways. Not depend on one another, but run to systems we live in. And trauma can do that. Back to activating things within us by showing up. Alternative ways to eat, alternative ways to of just being self-sufficient individuals. You start to see all times, right. And once you have that understanding,
And at the same time, build yourself.
Identity politics kind of just answers to how black people look black, like how have those terms
sound like a route
reflected in the times and how they have perceived African American nigga, you know.
Look, Negro.
Just identify as children, and then you know how. Never a color.
Yeah, I just said.
That's woke.
Yeah, that's, and the anti-blackness, call it what it is.
Diversity is, you know, where our parents influence our perception of blackness, and like they kind
of agree with all that.
How does identity politics fit into? We go for them. No, really, we very obvious.
Part from what I have learned and from like they can directly trace their point of origin ourselves in physical places. Around ourselves in a country that really is a big part in identity and
as African Americans, I've been all
right, and I'm getting there. It's typically easier for people to travel outside of their countries and do that immigration kind of story. And not having like our origins be readily known. Again, the displacement and not having on top of like language, how we looking at the of the countries that they come from. American dream is that they not even forced. You are blessed.
when they get here.
Let's stop
We're like,
I know it's silly.
and how do we have to identify to others? Today, you also have to call or answer to, or not answer, or just a black person, but being bad. You ask a Ghanaian, you like, oh, not just
So we kind of did that here.
Have been not deconstructed, but we have been able to come into this country, meaning that when we had to about black. I got some nigga. Black Panther, Black Power movement, and I acknowledging my
two-parted question. One is
put on my I put
great question. I also think that category, and I love when people like that.
right.
And since this is not your framework,
and not even just our conditions, our experiences. It didn't take much for you to get called out for. I think
I get that. So the term sell out and two guys, Patrick Swayze, they get the like Negro, like why? I'm just saying, what is it? Because I
same thing personally.
So I think for me, I kind of right on your timeline, you become being desensitized to like black pain. I knew like the first thing all of the other people that worked there, while I was there, they were always there videos that we always do. Always post black people like, if you don't see my page, you see everybody else.
post the black people.
Right, but it's a real vibe. So I feel that black people doing all type of different incredible things, but I see it as donations and school.
You guys were awesome.
Thank you so much.